another 2 days, and we'd have another meeting.
All right, we are now back in session. This is the St. Lawrence River Valley Redevelopment Agency, meeting June 25th, 2020, our second part of the meeting. We've just come back from executive session, and this is Patrick Kelly with the St. Lawrence County Industrial Development Agency. I'm turning the meeting over to Chairman Robert McNeil of the River Valley Redevelopment Agency. Mr. McNeil.
Okay. There was a motion authorizing a loan up to $75,000 to Inlaw Brewing Company, LLC. Motion made by Larry Clark. Is there a second to that to get it on the table?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded by Russ Straight. To spell out what we're doing, we're agreeing to loan the Inlaw Brewing Company LLC up to $75,000, an interest rate to be determined at closing to be 1/2 of prime rate plus 1, the 10-year amortization schedule. We're going to have a second mortgage and assignment of rents and leases behind Community Bank on real property, and the second lien position on all machinery and equipment. We've got unlimited personal guarantees of the two partners and of the LLC. And the company agrees to maintain 2 full-time equivalent jobs and create at least 2 more over the next 3 years. And prior to us closing on the $75,000 loan, they have to produce evidence of at least $301,000 in combined company equity and bank, meaning community bank financing. Any discussion with that?
Well, I don't know if you want to indicate that specifically in the bank if they choose to do business with someone else.
Yeah, I would, the written resolution doesn't spell out a specific bank, so I would recommend you leave it like that.
All right. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? 1 up, 1 vote no. So it's approved.
Bob, I don't know if that was an aye for opposed or an aye for in favor. Ed, was that
What do you mean? It's in favor.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry, that's the problem with these electronic meetings. So the loan is approved, and we'll move ahead with that. I now know where to find Larry when I drive me through Bluesville and want a cold beer.
All right, listen, and it'll be in the growler on the way by stop at Russ Streets because JC's on the river have a lot of it.
Okay. All right. And so we want to go to current renewable energy project. Pat, you want to tell out the...
Yep, as part of the IDA report, what I will tell you is we are working with, the IDA had submitted an application to the Northern Border Regional Commission last year for $800,000 to acquire, to assist in the acquisition of certain pieces of equipment for the North American Forest Group sawmill facility in the town of Oswegatchie, the former ACO production building that is a partner company of Current Renewable Energy. As part of the financing plan for that project, we would request that somebody make a motion to enable Current Renewable Energy access to up to $265,000 of the line of credit they have with you that was started or approved in March of 2016. They had a line that was up to 1.5 million. They've paid that down to 868,000. And while they're in repayment right now, we'd ask for a resolution for them to have re-access to up to $265,000 from that line.
So why don't you spell out the motion that you'd like us to be made, second and passed tonight?
A motion to enable access for current renewable energy to their existing line of credit for an additional up to $265,000 with the same repayment terms as are currently in place.
I move that.
Russ Straight moves it, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ed seconds it, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? It's passed. Pat, is there anything else to come before our meeting?
Yeah, let me just give you a quick update. The structural wood loan that you had approved for $300,000 closed in April. So they are moving forward with that expansion project in Waddington. We are going forward with a redesign of our website, working with the New York Power Authority to hopefully have a new website within the next month or so that we'll be happy to share with you. I think you'll be excited about some of the tools and the reimagined look of the website. We've engaged a number of the companies who have worked with the River Valley Agency to provide testimonials and bring some life to the website that wasn't currently there. We're in the final stages of finishing that update. We've been reaching out to a number of the prospects that we've developed over the years, just kind of a soft outreach to make sure that they know we're still interested in helping them, we're interested in their business well-being, and we're still trying to stay in touch with some of the companies that have expressed an interest in moving to the county and expanding. The Community Development and Environmental Improvement Program applications were received. I know the review process is underway. There'll be no action taken tonight, but I just want to make sure that the people are making note that we have received them and that they are being looked at. A lot of things going on right now, obviously, in these current times related to COVID and the coronavirus. The IDA is part of the county's reopening task force. We are trying to coordinate the economic development, public health, and county level response to this crisis, ideally with the objective of reopening the economy, getting back to some kind of normalcy in as safe and as responsible of a manner as possible. Some of the activities we've been undertaking in the last few months, just if you weren't aware, I want to make sure you are. We've done an organized outbound calling effort. We have reached out to approximately 500 local businesses. We're trying to distinguish ourselves from some of the other assistance channels that are out there. There are a lot of news articles, webinars, emails, a lot of electronic information, news stories flying around. At the staff level, we've tried to position ourselves as much as we can as a local human voice in talking with the companies and the businesses and organizations of St. Lawrence County. So if there's a way for us to connect people with local programs, regional programs, New York State, or certainly the federal CARES Act programs through the SBA, we've been doing that, working with our local development partners, the banking industry, the workforce system, pretty much everybody you would think we should be working with. I believe we're interacting with them. In order to make sure we're not overlooking anyone, we've initiated a local advertising campaign highlighting the services available through the IDA as well as some of our partners. Obviously, River Valley programs are part of that. Small Business Development Center, the St. Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce, the Cornell Cooperative Extension, among others. We're trying to take a uniform and coordinated approach to our response to the local businesses to make sure nobody falls through the cracks. We're hosting weekly calls with our partners, including the local development organizations, the regional and state development agencies and partners, the colleges and universities. We are active with the Drum Country Business Organization, which is St. Lawrence, Jefferson, Lewis, Fort Drum, and the Development Authority of the North Country. We're part of the North Country Alliance. We're taking part in weekly calls with their Emergency Working Capital Fund program. I am the chair-elect to the New York State Economic Development Council. So at a state level, we are interacting with numerous state-level organizations, entities, IDAs, local representing communities all across New York State. We have executive committee calls about every other week where we're sharing information, sharing approaches, trying to make sure that everybody's aware of whatever best practices are out there, whatever ideas and approaches. If somebody's found something that's working, we're all trying to help one another. And again, we're trying to keep developing future economic development activity. There's a lot of discussion right now about solar projects, trying to move those kind of projects forward. We're in touch with our local business community, trying to find not just ways to help with survival right now, which is certainly the top of the list, but also working on revisiting expansion plans, finding ways for companies to look at investments that may help position them to come out of this economic crisis, hopefully in ways that will help them grow or at least maintain workforce, but ideally grow. So there has been a very active, sustained, and aggressive effort, I think, under the surface that maybe not a lot of people are aware of, trying to help as many businesses as we possibly can, and trying to do it in as open and shared and broad of a manner as possible. So that's what we've been up to the last 3 or 4 months.
Well, thank you, Pat. And I would just like to point out that I'm increasingly impressed by structural wood in Waddington. My wife and I have had to travel to Burlington quite a bit in the last few weeks for medical care. And I've gotten to talk to truck drivers from structural wood who are delivering products to Burlington or coming back. I get to talk to them on the ferry, and they're doing quite a business in Vermont. They're making trips over there on a regular basis. That, I think structural wood is one of our success stories of both the IDA and the Monetization Board and the RDRDA. They're like Pat Kern, Renewable Energy. I think they're very successful. I just wanted to point that out.
Yep, Bob, I agree. Having those locally owned, creative, innovative, high-quality companies is just a tremendous asset for us to build on, and they are certainly one of that group.
Yep. The only problem I have is on the side of their truck, they have Waddington in big letters. Just make a structural wood.
Yeah, well, somebody probably had to spell it for you, Bob.
Okay, is that everything?
Thanks, Bob.
Andy,
Thank you.
Andy, anything that you want to add before we close?
Apparently not.
Hey, Ron, I was muted. This should only take a few minutes. Actually, no, I really don't have anything, other than to, note that, the price of energy in our zone here in northern New York, or at least in Scenic Zone, is just been incredibly low. The market power is almost low. Maintenance cost, the cost to produce. So it's, I think everybody noted, oil market's going negative. It hasn't been that extreme, but I was looking at, the ISO website, and the cost of power was, earlier in the meeting was $3.24. And normally that's, something that's in the $20 to $45 range. And I presume our proceeds for it is seeing diminished revenues because of this, lower price period. So there's just not a lot of demand up there. There is a lot of wind and there's not a pathway out. So,
What's that mean for the consumer, Andy?
well, so this isn't a joke. Lisbon, Waddington, Ogdensburg, Potsdam, Canton are in a different zone than Messina and Louisville. And the cost in that zone is, the Lisbon zone is slightly higher. The cost of energy across the state is suppressed because a lot of industrial load is either gone or at least diminished. So you should see lower electric bills. I mean, it's been a mild winter, spring, but also with the industrial load down, the demand was down, and over here in Zone D, there's increasing wind and talk of solar, which is help keeping the price down. So what that means for the state electric ratepayers is these are the lowest rates we've had in 10 or 12 years. Anyway, just wanted to give a little context. I'm getting a number of calls about economic development, but it's, there's no job creation, or limited job creation, but it's, Patrick and Rich have been part of these interactions. So, people who are looking for low-cost power are paying attention. I think this is an extreme, but it helps explain why NICO would be working on a line which would increase their ability, the state's ability to transfer power from upstate to downstate. Sorry for that, I know you all have places to go, but again, just want to offer a little context.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Anyone else got anything to bring up? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
We're adjourned. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, everyone.
Everyone, exiting